All right, let's dive into something that's on pretty much everyone's mind these days, artificial intelligence. But we're going to get specific and ask a really big question. Who gets to build it? And maybe more importantly, who is it really going to be for? All of us or just a handful of people? And look, this isn't some abstract what if kind of question. No way. The answer to this actually shapes everything. It's going to determine whether AI becomes a tool to solve society's biggest problems, or if it's mainly used to generate massive profits for a select few. Let's really break down what's at stake here. So, to really get what's going on, you first have to understand a fundamental problem that's brewing in the world of AI right now. And that's this massive and growing gap in who actually has the tools to build it. And when I say tools, I mean serious computational power. We're not talking about your souped-up gaming PC or your MacBook, not even close. To build the kind of AI that can, cure diseases or tackle climate change, you need these giant specialized supercomputers, basically virtual factories running nonstop. And that kind of power, it has a staggering price tag. And this is really where the rubber meets the road. You've got this huge divide. On one side, you have private corporations with incredibly deep pockets. They can afford to build and access the best, most powerful computing resources on the planet. But on the other side, you've got our public universities, which are driven by the public good to serve us, the taxpayers. And they are seriously struggling to keep up with the insane costs and scale of AI infrastructure. So what happens when one team has all the best gear? Well, you run the risk that the entire future of AI gets dictated by a pretty narrow set of interests. And here's the crucial point, right? If the only people who can really afford to build powerful AI are commercial companies, then the things they build will, naturally, be the things that make the most money. And those aren't always the same things that do the most good for society, like, advancing clean energy or public health research. Washington Senator Patty Murray put it really bluntly. She basically said that if AI just becomes this tool for billionaires to build their own pet projects and make even more money, then we as a society lose out on what AI could truly do for us. Okay, so it sounds a bit doom and gloom. I get it. But this story isn't just about highlighting a problem. It's also about a very real, tangible effort to provide a counterweight, to balance the scales a little bit. $10 million. That's the number at the very heart of this effort. And this isn't just some random pot of money. No, this is a very specific, targeted investment from the federal government designed to help the University of Washington beef up its computing power and start to close that infrastructure gap we were just talking about. So, where is this money going? It's all for a platform called Tillicum. Now, Tillicum is the university's brand new next-gen computing beast, launched back in October. You can think of it as a supercomputer tailor-made for the heavy, data-intensive lifting that cutting-edge AI research demands. And you can really hear the excitement from the folks on the ground. Andrew Connolly, who directs the university's eScience Institute, he said this investment is what allows them to stay at the absolute cutting edge. Basically, it keeps them in the big leagues of AI research. Okay, so they've got the money, they've got the machine, but what does that actually mean day to day? How does this investment help build a different kind of AI, one that's developed in the public interest? Let's take a look. Well, for a university, having this kind of computational muscle right there on campus is a total game changer. It means students and professors can test their ideas way faster. It gives more people access to top-tier tools. They don't have to be so reliant on pricey commercial cloud services. And, this is a big one, they can work with sensitive data securely, and it helps them attract the brightest minds in the field. Here's a perfect real-world example of why that's so important. Imagine a student is developing an AI that can track a patient's symptoms just by listening to their voice. I mean, think about that. That's incredibly personal, sensitive medical data. You can't just upload that to some third-party commercial cloud. But by developing it on a secure, university-owned system like Tillicum, that critical research can happen safely and ethically. All right, so this is obviously great news for the university, for the students, for the researchers. But why should you or I really care about this $10 million going to some academic supercomputer? Because it's about way more than just publishing academic papers. This is what you'd call foundational infrastructure. You got to think of it like building a new bridge or a power grid, but for the entire state's digital economy. It's an asset that benefits everybody. You see, when a public institution gets these kinds of tools, the benefits just spill out into the whole community. We're talking about creating new jobs, sparking life-saving innovations in healthcare, and making the entire state of Washington a magnet for top talent and innovators.
The whole idea is a rising tide of innovation that hopefully lifts everyone up.
And Magdalena Balazinska, who directs the computer science school there, just nails the core difference. She said, look, private companies, at the end of the day, answer to their shareholders. Their goal is profit. But public universities, they answer to taxpayers, to us. That means their goal is to do what's best for society. So this $10 million investment is really just one data point in a much, much larger conversation. It's not about saying private development is bad, not at all. But it does push us to ask a really important question. What's the right mix? How do we make sure that as AI becomes more and more powerful, its incredible benefits are shared by all of us, not just a few?